ある力を最大限に発揮できると信じている。一緒にこの戦いを終わらせよう。
Hello and welcome. Today we are in the Tier 8 US aircraft carrier, the Enterprise. We're playing a ranked match, and I start out doing the exact thing we learned yesterday from the CV. I launch my dive bombers, I boost over to the B cap, I drop my fighter plane, and then I immediately recall and launch my rocket planes to fly over to the A cap and try to drop a fighter plane there. But it does seem that this doesn't work as well on this cap, or at least it doesn't work when none of your 3 destroyers are actually heading for the B cap. I mean, sure, Asashia is turning now, but it's already too late. The whole point of sending a destroyer to B is so that you would get there as quickly as possible, so that you could potentially get the points advantage. But if you send all of your cruisers there for some reason, well, it does mean that your ability to take the B cap will take longer, and your ability to defend the A cap is also diminished. I did manage to land the fighter plane here on this edge before the destroyers entered the cap, which means that, well, at least one of them used their smoke screen early, which does probably mean that the destroyers aren't going to enter the A cap quite yet. However, there is the kid over there, and I can't do much to the kid. And because of our cruisers being in B, or going towards B, I don't really know what we're gonna do here. Like, I don't know, because I'm at a loss. I can't drop, well, I can drop on a kid, but it's not that effective. So I'm really just waiting for the Z-23 here at this point. I could try to go over to the C cap. By the way, they're already halfway done capping the C cap, whereas our ships still haven't even entered the cap zone. This is kind of what I meant. It just, it's a really weird way of distributing your ships. I mean, even if I hit the Taka, it doesn't matter because there's a destroyer in the cap right there. Because they only sent 2 destroyers into the A cap. Oh hey, there's the Loyang. Cool. This means that it would have been impossible to disrupt this cap. Well, maybe a few seconds, but we're only halfway done at this point of our cap. Also, they have entered the A cap, and because we don't have cruisers over there, the only ships we have is a Kid, a Cossack, and a North Carolina, we can't exactly challenge them in a fight over the cap zone in the A cap either. Which puts us at a significant disadvantage in my opinion, and this makes me quite annoyed. I mean, I really don't understand why both of our cruisers had to go to the B cap, and how all 3 destroyers started out heading into the A cap. It just makes no sense to me. Anyway, I'm gonna focus on the destroyers here, especially the Z-23, because the Z-23 is the most dangerous ship for our DDs here, because she has a hydro. I mean, sure, the kid is annoying and all, but she isn't the biggest threat to the DDs. She's a threat to me, which also means that somebody else will have to deal with her, probably. But we do need to be able to deal with the Z-23 soon, otherwise our destroyers are going to suffer. It's a good thing the Cossack and Kid are actually actively flying away, or sailing away, from the target. Oh god, I don't think I can do a drop from here, because of the weird way that rocket planes interact with mountains. Apparently it's impossible to tilt your ship. Oh, there goes our Kid. Oh, and there goes our Cossack. Excellent. This is perfect. By the way, this Z-23 is pushing. If we had cruisers on this side of the map, I don't think that would have been even a... I don't think the Z-23 would have even considered the possibility of pushing in such a situation. But here, the only ship that could punish them is the North Carolina. And I mean, it's a battleship. A destroyer isn't... If you have 2 destroyers versus 1 battleship, the battleship just can't output enough damage to threaten both of them at the same time. So now our only destroyer left is an Asashia. Awesome. So now though, this is actually one of the points where I think I might be making a mistake. You see, I could be heading over to the C cap, because we do have 2 cruisers over there. They have only an Atago and a Loyang. However, I decide not to. I decide to focus on the destroyers here, the Z-23 in particular. I would really like to get her out of the game. You see, 2 cruisers versus a destroyer and the cruiser are probably gonna win the fight, right? Or they should be. Which means that maybe heading over there would be the right choice. But then again, the Loyang might simply just smoke up and then just fire while smoke. And also, the enemy CV might come along, and so it wouldn't make much of a difference, because my impact is gonna be about the same as the enemy CV's impact over there. Also, it's already too late now, because their Arcutus have already died. Which means that now it's an Otago fighting an Otago and the Loyang. Even if I do head over there, the enemy CV heads over there and they win regardless, right? Or that's the chance. I think it makes more sense to try to take out this kid as much as we can, because then Asashia, can take the A-cap, or at least contest it. I mean, the enemy CV is Parseval, which means that she can't actually punish our Asashia. That's also why I'm not going to try to attack the battleship, because if I kill the battleship, then the Asashia can't torpedo anything, right? Which means that, well, a torpedo destroyer that can't torp anything is kinda wasteful. I'm gonna try to... I really need to take out this kid. If we can't take out the kid, then our NC is probably gonna be somewhat safe. Or at least safer. And our Asashia should be able to cap. I mean, the Bismarck might push her, but would you really? Even if you had Hydrop, would you really take the risk of pushing into an Asashia? I don't think I would. Anyway, I hope that the kid shows up from the other side, but no, she was smarter than I expected her to be. She slowed down, and thus dodged the salvo. So, I think I'm gonna go try to see if we can maybe punish the Loyang now. Because if the kid just sits behind that rock over there, I don't think I can do much. Or, actually, you know what? If Mogami is so low, I'm gonna go after the Mogami, because if that Mogami just disappears, or maybe gets extra salvos off because I didn't actually try to sink her, that could punish our North Carolina. Fortunately, our NC has gotten out of the fighter plane bubble, so it doesn't protect from the Parseval, but I mean, that's something she has to deal with herself. Then again, you know, it's only Parseval torpedo bombers, they don't deal much damage. But now that I'm already over here, I guess I'll deal with the kid if we can find her. Where is she? I know I'm spotted, so she must be around. Okay, anti-air. Oh, there she is. It's kind of interesting how it takes so long for a ship to appear that you can actually take multiple shots of anti-air before that happens. Anyway, we absolutely need to take care of this kid. Come on. 5k HP. Asashia, I believe in you. I believe in you, Asashia. Come on, 3k HP. 1700. Yes! Well done, Asashia. And now we focus over onto the C-cap, because now we have the A-cap. And is the Parseval gonna push into an Asashia? Hell no. No way. The CV is never going to push into an Asashia. Because you can't have even control over the ship properly, right? And then you run into a ship that basically needs to land like 3 torpedoes on you and you're dead. Yeah. No way. So, you know what? Sure, it might be a 3 versus 4, but actually we're not that bad off here, for a moment at least. Especially when we can sink this Loyang. I'm gonna start the attack, because what if, I don't know, she gets damage control party and survives with like 7 HP? I would have to turn around to come strike her. By the way, the reason I actually made the drop is because it takes too long for the drop to finish properly, and I don't think I would be able to take multiple strikes on the Takao anyway. Okay, the Bismarck finished off the Otago. Fine. 2 versus 3, but we do hold 2 of the 3 cap zones. Although, I suspect they'll eventually push into one of them. The good thing though is that with the Asashia being an A, usually you would expect the CV to sail into the A-cap. But Asashia is, yeah, it's a tricky ship. But on the other hand, because our Asashia is so low HP, well, I don't think she can go and challenge the Parseval directly, because, well, Parseval does have secondaries and Asashia might simply go down easily. I do try to protect her with a fighter plane, but honestly it's mostly for spotting. You see, torpedo bombers aren't that difficult to dodge for an Asashio. She has very good air concealment and very good maneuverability for a destroyer of this tier, which means that it's very difficult to land those torpedoes on her. Anyway, I'm gonna try to drop the Tako. It's also quite difficult to even land torpedoes on a cruiser like Atago if she can just dodge unrestrictedly, and she can, because, well, she doesn't have to fear the Asashio, and there is no other ship. So I'm gonna drop torpedoes far away from the front, so that the Atago keeps sailing at them, so I can land torpedoes from the side. Hey, we actually landed one of them, so I think 2 torps here are only necessary. I do think that drop wasn't as great as it could have been, but I think it should still be enough. Excellent! So now, we're gonna go after the Bismarck, because if Asashio lands only 1 or 2 torpedoes, that could be it, right? Like, she only has to land a few torps, and that would be it. AP rocket planes aren't very effective against the Asashio, so I suspect that they're gonna come after me. I'm gonna try to fly over into the Bismarck, but I don't know if this is going to work. I just have to take the chance here. I mean, I do fly through a fighter plane bubble partly, but I'm hoping I could... Nope, never mind. These fighters locked on really quickly. I didn't even get into the halfway point before they locked on. Wow. I still landed the Citadel hit though. It only did 5k damage, but still. I'm gonna start slowly turning in to the Parseval for the AP rockets. Hopefully this will prevent me from taking a huge amount of damage from this drop. Oh god, the angle wasn't actually... The angle was about as perfect as it would get. I would really like to turn around, to be honest, though, and start heading towards the C cap, because I think eventually, yeah, the Parseval's already heading into the A cap, and then the Bismarck is probably going to try to join her. And so it would be nice if I was halfway towards C, but I'm kind of afraid of doing that because, well, if I turn around and the Bismarck is like, "Ha, I was kidding, I'm not actually heading over to the A cap, I'm actually heading over to C," well, I would have been caught by that battleship then. Okay, come on, Bismarck. I know you wish to eat many of these Citadel hits. Come on. 3 of them. Nice. And the engine, actually. Sadly, Sasha seems to have missed. We're still ahead in points, by the way. Somehow, we've been playing from behind for such a long time, but somehow we're still ahead at this point. I tried to do some misdirection in chat. I tried to tell my associate to take the C cap, and I had the stop loitering next to it, but, you know, maybe they'll get a little confused, although I think it's unlikely, considering the CV seems to keep attacking the Asashia. But that Asashia is avoiding the CV quite well. This is actually one of the aspects why I like the German aircraft carriers, because they don't really punish the destroyers as heavily as other CVs do. Wow, that flak dodge didn't work quite as well as it usually does, but I mean, we only got hit by like 1 bubble or something. Come on! 2 more Citadels, excellent! Sadly, now I'm gonna try some torpedo bombers to give us some time for my dive bombers to heal up, because, well, the battleship is gonna be next to the Parseval, which means that it's likely I will have to drop from far away, and dive bombers have to get really close. And so the anti-air of the 2 ships combined is very heavily punishing. Whereas on torpedo bombers it's less of an issue, because you have a heal and you also drop from further away. I'm gonna dump 1 set of torp bombers here, because I don't need them. I'm gonna mostly ignore what the Parseval is doing to me. I don't think I can afford the luxury of worrying about how much damage the Parseval can do to me. Also, I should have probably dropped fighter planes over on the Asashio, because I have plenty of them here at this point, and maybe that could have been helpful. I don't think I actually aimed those torpedoes that well, because sure, one of them is gonna hit the Bismarck, but I think the other one might hit the Parseval, or the other one might have hit the Parseval instead. Anyway, I abandoned my plan going to the sea cap. There simply isn't enough time, and just start heading closer. Torpedo bombers are still necessary because it's another drop from afar, because they are basically together at this point. They have merged into one, you can see it on the minimap. Did the Sasha land torps here? I'm not sure, I wasn't paying enough attention. Well, considering there's 8 in the water, I think that's a no. Sadly. Would be nice if Asasha headed towards the A cap at this point though. As in, if she has a smoke screen, it would be quite nice if she tried to get into the cap so that she could block points from it. That would buy us some extra time. But it's a really risky maneuver. Bismarck has a hydro, and well, she is quite close to them. Then again, Bismarck might have already used the hydro. I did land 3 of the torps this time. I think this is gonna be the last drop, as there simply isn't enough time for anything else. 30 seconds. Oh god, no. Please don't spot the Asashio, because if the Parseval spots the Asashio, the Bismarck can fire and then it's game over. I drop a fighter just in case, but I don't think that fighter made a difference. I think Asashio's smokescreen was all the difference in the world. But anyway, this is the last drop. This has to sink this Bismarck, otherwise we lose the game. Come on! Come on! Yes! We did it! I can't believe we managed to do it. They were at 994 points, like 4 seconds from winning the game, and those dive bombers hit exactly like they should have, and sank the Bismarck. Man, I was quite annoyed at the start, and I honestly feel like we should have lost this game, but goddamn, that Asashio played really well. Like, the fact that she survived all of that, it kind of felt like the Bismarck and Parseval didn't do anything for the most of the end of the game. Kind of weird. But somehow we managed to win through all of that. Quite nice. Although I still think I probably should have taken the risk of heading towards sea earlier, despite the Bismarck potentially coming to engage me, because if I had been closer to the sea cap, maybe I could have actually prevented it coming down to the wire like this. But we still won, and that's all that really matters, isn't it? Even with the really bad positioning and being behind perpetually and all of that somehow. Anyway, these are the upgrades I use, or commander skills. Air Supremacy, Improved Engine, Survivability Expert, Sight Stabilization, Aircraft Armor, Concealment Expert, and then Last Gasp and Improved Engine Boost, or something like that. Yeah, it says Improved Engine Boost. Engine Boost is incredibly nice to have. Upgrades wise, it's also standard flight control modification, because you want your aircraft to restore quicker. Then I use HP for the torpedo bombers, mostly because they have a heal, so you can, you know, it's a multiplicative effect. Then attack aircraft modification 1, because I like having more time on my rocket plane attacks. Then more engine boost, obviously. And air groups modification 1 to get my aircraft back quicker. So yeah, this was quite an amazing game. By the way, the voiceover was actually Enterprise from Azur Lane, and this is the Enterprise Azur Lane skin. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.